King James
Demonologie shenanigans.
Demonology in form of a dialogue or conversation, divided into 3 books, written by the High and Mightie Prince James, by the grace of God, King of England, Scotland, France, and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, London, printed by Arnold Hatfield for Robert Walgrave, 1603.
Adam and Eve and that forbidden fruit. What were they thinking? Please, don't forget to tell me what the devil's training is. Well, his training, first of all, is what I call uncivilized words or chants, herbs, or what they call roots, and magic crystal stones or gemstones, natural stones from the earth, used against the law of God with charms they consider to be mystical. Can you believe that? You say natural stones from this earth? They work with all kinds of extreme spiritual practices and loud, elaborate celebrations, which we call these kinds of celebrations and practices fetishism or fetishes. They try to call the private practices fetes, like festivals or carnival. Mostly, I see it as some types of mysterious carrying on. Very mysterious, very mysterious. I've seen the carrying on, and they can get pretty wild. Now, hold on. All you tell me is too general. I want you to break this down a little more. Give me some examples. Meaning to say, like a root worker, man or woman, who may use charms or magic crystals right after they speak a protective word over somebody. You know, for instance, for calling in what they say are good spirits and to keep away bad spirits folks feel are caused by the evil eye. And horrible knitting around trees. Meaningless herb plants, sometimes tied up on the hair or tails of goods, like goats, mules, or horses, and whatnot. Curing intestinal worms, healing animals, stopping someone from bleeding using a special stone, using riddles and rhymes. Many different words that we just don't get. Just like doctors do when they use words only they know about. And keeping folks married almost forever by tying so many knots in the marriage ceremony. These kind of things the folks do in their celebration time. They are uneducated brothers of these secret orders. You know, they are just curious and don't know nothing about God, really. They have the nerve to believe in these practices, as various ones of them do. By the power of this work, though, the devil uses to trick folks, not having anything good to come out of these useless words, magic practices, and devilish ceremonies. Those who want to try and make themselves look good to everybody, if they are a little shamefaced about it, either they will try to learn the art from somebody who already knows it. At first, they don't even know it's evil. Or some folks are bold about it. They go straight to the devil. They want to be richer, beat out everyone, keeping up with the Joneses, as the saying goes. They sell their soul to the devil right away. Let me say, as I think about it, what you call in the devil's school and training are really not bad at all. These have been lawful arts since forever and a day, especially the science of astrology. This is even an extremely important branch of mathematics. Well, you are right, no doubt about it. A whole bunch of folks carry on like this. You asked me to break it down. It seems I need to break it down even further. I really need to hear this. Right, here we go. Let me explain what I'm talking about like this then. First of all, there are two things which educated men have observed from the very beginning in the science of the heavenly creatures, planets, stars, and whatnot. One is to watch their path up in the sky. This is called astronomy, made up of two Latin words that just means law of the stars. And for sure, this art, as a part of mathematics, is not only acceptable, it is well received and highly regarded. The second of the two is astrology, also made up of two Latin words meaning the magical, get this, the magical chance and preaching or predicting by the stars. That is what I'm talking about. What is wrong with that? Let me finish. Go right ahead. Uh-huh. Magical chance and preaching or predicting by the stars, which this in itself is even divided into two more parts. One, by knowing the habits of everyday simple people, and about sicknesses. How the seasons of the year will go along with the weather, being ruled by patterns of the seasons. Mind you, astrology does rely on astronomy in many ways, even though astrology is not by itself a part of mathematics. Astrology is not really forbidden as long as you don't do it too much, but it's not as widely used and accepted as astronomy. The next part of this is trusting too much on how astrology will have an effect on everyday life, based on the planets, stars, and sky work. For instance, what empire or government will rise or fall to pieces, which folks are so called lucky or unlucky, what side will win in battles of war, what man will win in a one on one fight, how and what age men will die, what horse will come in to win in a horse race, and all kinds of stories that are just out there. You know, Cardanus and Cornelius Agrippa, them and a whole bunch of other overly curious folks love to write about this stuff, even though they hardly make a penny from it. Out of this last part of what I'm talking about comes a whole bunch of other categories, like they know about nativities, what is also called birth charts, chiromancy, or reading the lines in the palm of your hand, also called palmistry, geomancy, that's reading patterns of the earth, divining off the earth reading work, hydromancy, divining using any kind of water, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, arithmancy, magie or magic in numbers, spiritual work with the numbers, physiognomy, reading someone's facial features to predict their personality or character trait, plus thousands more. All these were practiced and respected by the ancient Gentiles. And that last part I said about astrology, that's the basic root of the categories right there. They call it pars fortuna, which just means part of fortune. Now, you know all that is completely not acceptable and cannot be trusted or practiced by Christians. It is straight supernatural rituals. This is the part I call the devil's training. Well, many of those who are educated would say you are wrong. I believe you. I believe you. But let me tell you this. I could give some reasons to prove and back up my opinion. If it don't take us too far off topic and waste too much time. What am I going to do with you, Sha? Anyway, all I have to say to those considered so called educated in the scriptures, which is the ground that all Christians stand on and cannot be wrong, the prophet Jeremiah, Jeremiah 10, plain as day, it is forbidden to prophesy by the planets and the stars. Well,